I got DaveMadMax 6, and for the very first time, one-on-one, I got Evan Centopani at his home gym in New Haven, Connecticut. Evan, it's good to see you, man. It's been a while. Huh?
It's good to see you guys.
I'm so glad I got you today. So I wanted to talk to you one-on-one because a lot has been going on for you over the past few months. Number one, I didn't even know, but I guess you were getting ready for the New York Pro. It was going to be your big show this year, right?
Yeah. Oh man, I spent so much time last year putting on size, getting bigger, getting stronger, and I hit a pretty good 295, and
wow.
was nice and strong and not too fat, and just getting ready to start dieting. It was just under 16 weeks out from the New York Pro, and I was going to begin dieting at 15 weeks out, and I just walking in my driveway, I started to slip on some compacted snow, and your feet start to go out from underneath you, and I try to regain my balance, and in doing so, it's just kind of a reflex. You tense your leg really hard, to try to bring yourself back, and having a larger muscle there to begin with, and I'm sure some of that wear and tear over the years in the gym didn't help either, and it just ripped the tendon right off the kneecap.
Oh my God.
So I had to have surgery for it, and it's now about 9-10 weeks after the surgery, and I'm able to walk again, which is great. For 6 of the weeks after the surgery, I'd have my leg locked straight in the brace, and that sucked, and it was painful, it was annoying. For probably a good 4 weeks, I really couldn't do much of anything.
Wow.
But I'm grateful to be, making what I think is really great progress, to be honest.
You have a very, very interesting YouTube channel where there's a lot more than just bodybuilding stuff in there. You actually took a passion of yours, which is basically cooking and eating and making things very interesting, and you give a lot of your recipe in there. Talk a little bit about your feeding habits, and you like a lot of things organic, and you grow a lot of your own food, and talk about all that stuff. It's why did you start doing that? I know you started really young.
Yeah.
You told me you started cooking at 8 years old, which is unbelievable. So talk about that.
I guess to start at the beginning, growing up, my parents were divorced, and my mother worked a lot, and she remarried, but also my stepfather, he worked full-time as well. So, when I got off the bus and stuff like that, I was home alone, and I like to eat. So it kind of became a necessity to have to, learn to cook for myself, and I did. And as I got older, kind of this interest in food and this love to eat ended up being paired with my interest in, physical training and getting in shape. And I was able to kind of, look at recipes that I enjoyed and, things that I like to eat, and said, okay, are there ways that I can kind of tune this up so I can continue eating it and, still reach my goals. And food is just, and I think it's this way for a lot of people, food is just very interesting, and it's a big thing. I love food. I love to cook.
Do you watch the cooking channels?
Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
But I did I remember watching Emerald. He was probably one of the first people that I really became interested in. I was probably 10 or 12.
Oh wow.
And people were buying me cookbooks when I was pretty young.
Wow. That's cool.
But it even carried over. I garden a lot. I have my own garden at home, and for me, part of it is there's definitely a therapeutic aspect to it. For anyone watching this, is probably like, Evan's a little soft, but it's very therapeutic. It's awesome, but also to have my own means of growing food. And something that I ended up realizing along the way was all the parallels between human nutrition and plant nutrition, and the importance of good bacteria, just like using probiotics. And the way that I feed my plants is almost the way that I would feed myself.
Wow.
So it's part therapy, it's part science experiment, and it's part just a means of having good food.
Yeah.
It's very enjoyable.
Wow.
But yes, I love food all around.
Talk about your YouTube channel. You've been actually good about putting out some contents, and I know you and Jill actually just shot last last Monday for a video that's going to go on your YouTube channel. So you like doing the YouTube channel? You can reach a lot of your fans that way?
Yeah, you know, I try to put out content as regularly as possible. I admit that I'm not great about it.
Well, you get almost 50,000 subscribers, so you gotta be doing something right. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, if I just sometimes I wish I had somebody just there with me all the time,
following you around like Jay does.
Just to get footage of stuff. You know? So many times during my day, I'm like, man, people would find this cool or find this interesting.
Yes.
But yes, do check me out, please. I think you'll find I do try to put out things that are at least maybe semi-entertaining, but I do aim first and foremost to give you guys useful information, things that's not just bullshit.
I think the food stuff is great. I mean, the training stuff always is going to be a big deal. Of course, people are going to like that. But the fact that you are so crafty with your food and explain, Jill was talking about a recipe that you put, spice in the rice and all that stuff. That's interesting stuff. But you were telling me off camera, you were actually even contacted by a big publishing firm who actually pitched a cookbook idea for you to write.
Yeah, just this past week.
That's awesome.
A major publisher who said, we'd like you to author a bodybuilding nutrition.
That is
cookbook.
Awesome.
And I'm, I wish I was more excited. I'm kind of hesitant because, the volume of recipes that they're looking to include in the book, and of course, there's always concerns over this, the stylistic details of it, and me wondering, okay, is this going to fit? My brand and what it is that I want to deliver to people. So on one hand, as a bodybuilder who, maybe I've been able to develop a little kind of a niche or, have a little thing. And for me, that's my cooking and nutrition. To be approached in that regard is like,
it's flattering.
It's like that's like, the big deal.
Yeah.
But then, you just want to make sure that it's going to be right.
Right.
You can properly commit to it and, deliver something that's in line with who you are.
Yeah.
What the fans expect of you. So, we'll see. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, maybe you need to keep track of everything you do now, and when you think of something, just write it down. Because I'm sure you have a lot of recipe, but we don't always think about writing them down.
No.
So you can't even really tell how many you have. But But that sounds like a great idea. It's a flattering to even been asked. I think it's cool.
It's extremely flattering.
Wow.
Yes, I don't know. I hope no one thinks that I'm being like, like taking it for granted. You just want to make sure that everything you do is always as good as possible.
If you want to do it, you want to do it right.
Yes.
Exactly. That's very good. Evan, thanks so much for talking to us today. Thanks so much for the workout with Jill, and I can't wait to put that up.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Evan.